Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today I just want to update people on what I'm doing outside of videos. I am helping with legal cases at the moment, and one of the legal cases is a Lithuanian woman, well she's a teenager, has been sold apparently by her parents to an owner, a husband we're told, in the UK. And this, I don't know how bad things are in Lithuania, but this marks me to the Slavs, if you know the history of the Slavs. I've talked about that on my Kath Ede channel briefly, and their infiltration into the Catholic Church. However, it probably wasn't the Slavs, but an owned Slav or something of the kind, because there was a slave trade back there, and it's believed that Jews were the slave owners and traders. And so I'll be looking into that in some deep level, because obviously history rhymes, and I'm dealing with a case here of this poor teenager who, this is to do with housing, by the way, but she's been sold to a man as a wife, and she's feeling quite hopeless. And this is in today's society. This isn't from some 66 AD or 1300s. This is today. I'm helping today with this situation. She's feeling very hopeless and demoralised, and the situation is, if she gets returned, because we're trying to do a deportation basically, but if she gets deported back to Lithuania with her family, my concern is that she'll get sold off again by her alleged parents, and she might be sold cheaper and in harsher conditions, because she's obviously shown herself to be unreliable, a troublemaker, and so her situation may get worse, because she won't if the parents have decided to, or alleged parents have decided to sell their child, they are going to sell that child regardless. They've also received the money, there's been the transaction made, so the new owner, or the alleged husband of this woman, will want the money back, and that could enslave, if it is the case that the parents have done this, that could enslave the parents as well, because they will be under some kind of penalty, probably with interest. Anyway, we are working on the deportation, but I'm just looking at the effects of that as well, because these are money traders. These are people who are going to strike interest and a penalty for this situation that has arisen. Financial. They're going to enslave people, masses of people, and the woman doesn't want to be here, or the teenager, and it is a no-win situation for the Lithuanian people involved in this. Should it be the case that she's been sold by her parents, because I do know a little bit about the Slav trade in history, and I'll have a look and research into that, and I'll do that on maybe this channel, also my Kath Ede channel, if you want to go there. That's more about history. This channel's more about the law. In another video I'll tell you about another case which I'm dealing with, which is a formal complaint to the police about their hate speech laws which they arrested people on. And then we're going to have a look into the history of Charles I, who was beheaded, because everything changed after then. I've got this massive book. It's the Statutes at Large. It's from the 1700s, and it's a massive book with all the legislation. It's only one volume. I think it was 3 volumes altogether, but we'll have a look into that because I want to see what the laws were back then and how everything changed, because a lot of changes happened back then which were enslaving, basically. There's not really much more that I can say about this situation with the deportation. There are deportations happening. I'm hoping that should she continue with the deportation, she'll have a life of freedom back at home some way, somehow. And then the enslavement doesn't fall upon others to repay. But even so, even if the parents did sell their daughter, if that was factual, then selling your child to a man and claiming that you will sell them as a wife, surely that should receive repercussions. They should have to pay for doing that, for selling your daughter. Anyway, this is just a quick update because things might slow down a bit while I'm doing these two. Well, I'm still doing other housing things as well. So while I'm still doing these, this may all my videos may start to slow down to 1 a week or something like that. Also, if you'd like to go on Substack, I've written about my rape case and my arguments which I made there. I'll put the link in the description below, and then you can find these legal arguments which I made, which when I self-represented my own rape case, I won and I set precedent. So I think you might be interested in that if you're interested in the legal system and the history and how it would be better if we start to self-represent, because the lawyers are owned. They are working for profits. They're not working for justice. So the only way you're going to really receive justice is if you fight your own legal battles yourself. And this is one of the things which this girl is doing. I'm writing up letters and helping to write up letters, but she's going to have to self-represent. And I had to self-represent my own rape case. She is going to have to self-represent her own deportation case. And a lot of people are going to be stuck in this position of self-representing, and people are going to have to be stronger and get a nerve behind them to do these sorts of things, because if people don't, if they carry on, turn into these legal representatives. I heard this Richard D. Hall was saying that some of the arguments he wanted to make weren't made by his legal representative. Same with I think Gemma O'Doherty. She, I think, also stated that some of her legal arguments weren't brought up by her legal representative. And I know that this is happening because no lawyer would represent the arguments which I was making. So people are going to have some balls about them in the future. I'll link to my Substack. I hope that people will subscribe to that because there's quite a few articles, and hopefully people will feel that they can read it and feel a bit of hope and promise. And also just to let you know that the number of videos that I do will start to decline, only to 1 a week, but that's it. And also, if you want to hear about history or alternative history, then Kath Ede is probably the better place, because I talk about all sorts of things, including trying to look into the Anglo-Saxons. And I've also uploaded a video about my history books. I've bought antique history books, and antique history books from the 1800s and early 1900s provide a very different history, or some of them provide a very different history to the history that we learn today. Our education system has been infiltrated, of course, and we know that, but I'm just showing how. So thanks for taking the time to listen to this, and I will look forward to seeing you in future videos. Bye.